Hey, Monty. Mike was asked about his contract situation. There's been some reporting on that. Is that, just what's your assessment of the job, that he's done here thus far, and if what would your recommendation be to ownership at this stage?
Yeah, I think, as I talked about, you look at a 2-year horizon here, which is when Coach Brown and his staff came in, and a lot of positives. We're certainly disappointed this year. Mike and I will sit down and try to figure out how we get back to where we want to get to. We'll have all those conversations here starting soon.
Sacramento, what's happening? Sacktown Pete back at it again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope everyone's having a great day and a weekend. Yeah, it's no secret. Monty McNair, as you guys heard him, came out and said that it's pretty clear that they need to extend Mike Brown. Mike Brown is obviously seeing a new multi-year contract. And, I voiced my frustrations of Mike Brown's coaching and his rotations and adjustments this past season, should I say. But make no mistake about it, he will be extended. It's only a matter of time of when they will extend him. And Mike Brown, if you're watching this video, I can assure you, you will get your multi-contract year deal. It's only a matter of time. Mike Brown is arguably one of the best, if not the best coach in franchise's existence. Yes, didn't hesitate to say that because the Sacramento Kings have had their fair share of head coaches over the past decade, and a lot of them. I mean, Mike Brown's biggest acclimate is obviously coming in his first year and ending the 16-year hideous playoff drought and leading the Kings to a first playoff win in 17 years. And he deserves it. I mean, let's face it, guys. Despite his inability to adjust on the fly, despite his rotation and his frustrations, making those rotations this past season, the Sacramento Kings still won 46, 47 games, if you're including the play-in game. And, he deserves it. No coach has obviously done what he's done since, you got to date back to Rick Adelman, who was a part of the, golden era of Sacramento Kings basketball with those great teams that they had back in the early 2000s with Bibby, Weber, Peja, and Vlade Divac and Bobby Jackson and Doug Christie. So let's face it, got to give Mike Brown, a lot of credit for coming in and changing the culture, changing the franchise around to existence and respectful at a level where they can be respected now. Because let's face it, before Mike Brown, the Sacramento Kings were a laughingstock. They were a joke. Year in, year out, they had no leadership. They had no accountability. They had no direction. It was always a rinse and repeat with coaches being fired every 2-3 years. And it was a disgrace. Let's face it. It was a freaking disgrace, man, knowing that you're going to get a coach every 2 to 3 years, a new coach. And it was just setting up a recipe for failure. And, since we got the right GM in place, did his homework, did his research, he brought in a good veteran coach that has a past of winning and that has past of coaching great legendary players. I mean, Mike Brown coached LeBron James. He coached Durant, Curry as assistant for the Golden State Warriors. He coached a lot of good basketball players that didn't during his tenure in time. He coached the great Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in L.A. And now he's coaching a young superstar in De'Aaron Fox and a great all-around star big in Domantas Sabonis and a young up-and-coming Keegan Murray who's got star written all over him. So shout out to Mike Brown. Obviously he has come in and gave this team some light, gave this team direction, and has held them accountable. He really has held them accountable and showing the accountability. We've seen the leaked video before the season started of him going off on Malik Monk and holding him accountable in practice. He's yelling at Malik Monk in practice. And overall, he deserves it. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised by the extension. Yes, I mean, I've voiced my frustrations. As you guys have been following me for a long time on here, I've voiced my frustrations this past season on how Mike Brown has dropped the ball on a lot of Sacramento Kings games this past season. But that doesn't make him a terrible person. He obviously is seeking a deal, and he deserves it. And he should get that extension because he deserves to be around to see the Sacramento Kings go back and hit their golden peak era. Because let's face it, the Sacramento Kings are not a terrible team. They are a team that's going to be back in the hunt and back in the mix next season. They're going to address the offseason and approach the offseason with the right, demeanor to make some big-time moves and retool the roster, and they will do that. So with that being said, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Mike Brown looking for extension. Does he deserve it, or does he deserve to be on the hot seat? I'm going to say he doesn't deserve to be on the hot seat. He deserves that extension. Despite me voicing my frustration and questioning Mike Brown's adjustments and his rotations, the reality is the fact that he's come in and changed the blueprint and culture of the Sacramento Kings basketball. He's made them respectable. He's ended the playoff drought that we know of where we were about. And he's going to have the Sacramento Kings team back in the mix next season. There's no doubt about that. So don't let this be a distraction. Let's get it out of the way. I'm hoping that Mike Brown's extension, he will be extended pretty soon. So with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Have yourself a great rest of your weekend. Take care. God bless. Keep pushing forward. I'll catch you guys in my next video.